Current Events Case Brief. R versus Anthony Cook, 2016, SCC 43. Matthew John Anthony Cook attended a drop-in center which provided assistance to people suffering from mental health and addiction problems. He had a long-standing mental health disorder and substance abuse issues. On February 9, 2013, Anthony Cook punched a regular volunteer at the drop-in center, Michael Gregory, who fell on the pavement and died as a result of a skull fracture. The appellant was arrested later that day for manslaughter and was taken to a mental health facility. Following his discharge, Anthony Cook breached his bail conditions and was held in custody thereafter until his sentencing hearing, a period of approximately 11 months. The Crown and defense made a joint submission that the appropriate disposition was a period of 18 months additional incarceration with no probation. The issue in this case is, does the proposed joint submission give adequate weight to the principles of denunciation, deterrence, and protection of the public? The trial judge rejected the joint mission. While giving it very careful consideration, he concluded that it did not give adequate weight to the principles of denunciation, deterrence, and protection of the public. Instead of sentencing the appellant to a further term of 18 months in custody as requested, he sentenced him to a term of 2 years less a day, after credit for pre-sentence custody. In addition, he placed the appellant on probation for 3 years. The trial judge considered the circumstances of the appellant and various sentencing authorities provided by counsel. He determined that 3 years would be a fit sentence and that any sentence below that would be an unfit sentence considering the severity of the crime. In view of this conclusion, he increased the proposed sentence by 6 months in order to achieve the effective 3-year sentence he considered fit. The trial judge also rejected the joint submission to the extent that it did not include an order for probation. He considered that such an order was necessary to protect the public because the treatment team could not control the appellant's use of street drugs. Accordingly, he imposed a 3-year probation order, which included a term prohibiting the appellant from possessing or consuming non-medically prescribed drugs. The circumstances in this case were challenging and brought lots of conflicting principles into play. I am completely in agreement with the decision of the court and think that the decision to dismiss the joint submission was justified. Taking into account the appellant's mental health disorder, the judge was concerned about the risk of Mr. Anthony Cook reoffending due to the escalation of his offenses having progressed from property offenses to violent ones. His use of illegal drugs and the effect that had on his medication and treatment regime was very problematic and worrisome. It is clear that the court was of the view that the recommended sentence was not in the public interest in regards to the risks to society and that it should be increased. Do you think that Matthew John Anthony Cook's sentence is appropriate, taking into consideration his history of substance abuse and his mental health disorder?